Mayhem is the easiest way to describe the start of today's video. Welcome back everyone to the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering this week. This is your top 10 from May 11th to the 17th of 2024. And because of TCG Player's one-day flash sale, the sales numbers are in a different level. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me for another top 10 video. A reminder before we start the video, if you enjoyed today's content and you never want to miss another top 10 video again, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell. You'll see me every Saturday and Sunday. And of course, you can support my channel by using my TCG Player affiliate link found in the description of this video. Now we're starting out at number 10 with Magical Hack. This is the revised edition version for $6.66. This thing has seen a massive spike in actual sales and price. 2,340 sales. It's $15,584 in total sales volume. Now in case you're wondering why this particular thing has just gone off the rails and sold so many copies, it is used in like an old version of like a deck using Dan. So don't be surprised. Some of these old vintage decks people play with buy 20, 30, 40 copies. More people buy Chronicles Edition. And before you know it, a lot of people trying to build the same deck causes a lot of sales. I think you can find the article on this if you jump over to MTG Stocks. They did a little kind of thing on it. It's good to know where and why things are selling. Now, because of that TCG Player flash sale thing with the Mayhem, they called it, we saw a lot of higher numbers than normal, and that includes cards like Urza's Workshop. Although, of course, this is from a few years ago, the fact we're seeing cards that can connect like Urza's Cave from Modern Horizons 3 had players chasing down a lot of cards. 2,467 sales is $52,000 of actual sales volume, which means there's a lot of players out there who still wanted to get their hands on this card and tacked on a lot of these cards onto individual orders wherever they may have been. Now, of course, not all these sales are TCG Player, but they're still happening all over the place. So don't forget that this card has Metalcraft. Add one colorless mana to your mana pool. For each Urza's land you control, activate only if you control 3 or more artifacts. But of course, with the litany of zero casting cost artifacts that have been selling in the last month, that's not going to be a real hard thing to accomplish for a lot of players. But either way, this thing comes in with a lot of sales and it takes the number 9 position. So you're probably wondering what card comes in at number 8. Well, guess what? With a stomping good showdown, we have the Vault-Born Tyrant from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction at the number 8 spot with 3,185 sales. That's $89,000 plus in total sales volume for this card. A tremendous number I didn't expect to see, comparatively speaking, to the last couple of weeks. But you know what? Everyone loves a good bargain, and getting a 10% off or even higher if you're one of the subscribers just makes it that much easier to buy these cards on TCG Player. Now this card's a dinosaur with trample and it's a 6/6, but don't forget when the Vault-Born Tyrant or another creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, you gain life and draw a card. When the Vault-Born Tyrant dies, if it's not a token, then you create a token that's a copy of it. So even when it dies, it doesn't really die. That's a pretty amazing after effect to have for a card like this, and it justifies to a lot of players why they're buying it, where they can get a bit of a discount and enjoy the card. I know a lot of people tack this onto their orders at the end because several of my friends did the exact same thing. Now, jumping over to number 7 is still going to be Pick Your Poison from the Murders at some kind of castle. Now, it was a manor, castle, a lodge, maybe a village. It has 3,200 sales this week, which is $7,000 in sales volume. The card's still hovering around the $2.20 mark, which is just fine for a card like this. Now, the funny thing is, with nobody really opening the Murders at Karlov Manor, this card still has the potential to kind of creep upward. If you have copies now, hold on to them. If you can get the 4 copies for less than 10 bucks, I would grab them. It's going to be around for a while, and this card is really good. As a sorcery, it says choose one. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact, each opponent sacrifices an enchantment, or each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying, which means it's really going to help you in Commander. It works brilliantly inside of Standard, and I'm not sure if it has a home in Modern, but I'm sure somebody could drop that in the comments section and let me know if it's even being played in that format. It's still interesting to see that a card like this can kind of hover around that price as a common and still step up to the plate and maybe go higher. All right, guys, our next card is one I didn't expect to see here. This is the World Breaker Helm. Now, it's a $3 card. It has 3,210 sales this week, which is $9,630 in total sales volume. Another one of these showcase showdown type cards. This is an interesting card to take a look at. It has a few things going for it that players need to be aware of. Now, first off, for 1 blue and 2 generic, this mythic artifact has some possible synergy that players need to be aware of. If you would create 1 or more artifact tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional map token. That's another artifact, guys, don't forget this. Then it also has for 1 blue and 1 generic, create a token that's a copy of a target artifact token you control. There's lots of ways of creating tokens. This thing offers a lot of possibilities at a very low price. Now, our next card. Yeah, guys, it's the Scoot Swarm, and it's back again. And of course, I didn't expect to see this is the Thunder Junction version. 3,390 sales, $8,644.50 in sales volume, an average price of $2.50. For anyone out there who forgot this thing from Zendikar Rising, when it could crash Arena by creating these infinite combo loops of thousands of Scoot Swarms crossing and crisscrossing the battlefield, it was insane to see this thing in play. And of course, I don't remember ever seeing it because I wasn't playing Standard at the time, but I definitely played against this thing on Arena. It says Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green insect token. Now, if you control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm. You see how it gets really disgusting? Because at first, it's just a little 1/1 insect, right? It's a little creature token thing. But then when you create extra Scoots, that's when it gets nutty. Now, let's jump over here and take a look at the Hostile Investigator. $15.08, takes the number 4 slot with 3,945 sales. Now, $59,000 of total sales volume is a huge number. I did not expect to see a card like this garnering this much attention from the players. I'm not saying it's not a good card, but anyone who's worried or wants to create with some kind of discard deck, this is kind of going to get it done. Now, it's 1 black, 3 generic, and it's a 4/3, and it says when Hostile Investigator enters a battlefield, target opponent discards a card. Whenever 1 or more players discard 1 or more cards, investigate. Now, of course, this ability only triggers once per turn. Nice to have a little limit on it. Create a clue token. If it's an artifact, sacrifice it, draw a card, which is kind of nice. You make them discard, and I guess someone's going to let me draw a card. And of course, recursion and ways of bringing this guy back. It's not a bad card to have around. But that's not all, guys. We got to jump all the way over and take a look at our next card. This is the Green Belt Rampager. Now, this is from Kaladesh. 4,062 sales, $3,046 in total sales volume. Not a big price to pay. Now, 1 green, it's a 3/4, and it says, create an elephant. When the Green Belt Rampager enters a battlefield, pay 2 energy, okay? But if you can't, you return it to your hand, and you get 1 energy. So really, if you have a couple of mana, you're getting this bad boy out. But with energy regeneration being so important right now for upcoming Commander players for Modern Horizons 3, this card is getting a ton of attention. So if you're looking for this card while it's still cheap, get it now, or think about when it gets reprinted, or if it'll get reprinted sooner than people realize. Either way, it's still under $1. It's a great bargain basement card. All right, guys, you ready for this? We are jumping over. You've made it to the number 2 slot, and of course that is going to be the Lava Spur Boots again with 4,592 sales, $7,025 of total sales volume. It's still around the $1.53. It's actually declining a bit in price. It's slipping down the ranks. I see a lot of players using this card still. I'm seeing it all the time in Arena because of its ability to get things done for really cheap casting costs. It may just be a little bit of a deterrent, but it helps and it gives haste. Don't forget this card has a 1 casting cost and it's an equip 1. Target creature gets +1/+0 and has haste and ward 1. That's kind of nice. That's a lot of little kind of things added together to add a little bit of spice to a card that otherwise may get ignored. But that extra ward ability and the haste with a +1, this card is being a multi-offering card. It's going to keep seeing play. But it's time to talk about the number 1 card, because this card's sales numbers took me hours. Guys, this is the Free Strider Lookout. Now this thing here comes in with 11,904 sales, which is $14,641.92 to count how much value this card had done to it. So it's only $1.23. It's not an expensive card. So the question kind of gets asked, why is this Outlaws of Thunder Junction card being bought in such quantity? Now, there's a couple of things going on with the card you need to be aware of. Number one, as a 1 green 2 generic for a 3/3, it's not bad. It also has reach and it's a rogue, so it kind of fits into a whole bunch of synergy things there. It's also human. But it says, whenever you commit a crime, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a land card from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once per turn. Targeting an opponent with anything they control and or cards in their graveyard is a crime. Have you seen this thing go off multiple times in a turn? Have you seen people cast multiple spells in a turn and get out 3 or 4 lands for free after copying this card? It can get very disgusting very quickly. The sales everyone witnessed yesterday, the sales I'm showing you in today's video about MTG Finance's secondary market, proves the point that if you offer a good price point, if you offer a cashback or some other way of garnering player attention, you can have these one-off FOMO events that just get everyone excited and get them spending their money. Now, can you do this all the time? Absolutely not. But as a one-off event that you do once or twice a year, it's probably going to continue to be very successful for a company like TCG Player because players can actually see the cash back coming back to them. They can feel they got a good price point on a lot of the cards they were searching for. And Wizards of the Coast, they really should be taking notice of this, taking a few pointers on what to do, because TCG Player just did a really good job. And I'm not saying that just because I have an affiliate link with them. It was well done. I saw a lot of people talking about it. I saw a lot of excitement and people just sending me all kinds of emails about all these awesome cards they bought. Now, before we end today's video, a reminder, guys, tomorrow is the Reserve List Top 10. And that Reserve List Top 10 video, you are going to see some very high sales numbers as well, probably higher than you expect. So I can't wait to share those numbers with you tomorrow. I hope you have a great day in the world of Magic the Gathering. And of course, don't forget to shop smart, shop S-Smart, but I think a lot of you did yesterday. Guys, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day today. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Thanks a lot for watching the channel and hanging out with me today. I hope you had a good time while you were here. Now, we're here at the end credits because these are the patrons, the heroes of the channel, the people who step up and really support. So thanks again to my patrons, to my YouTube membership members, to the loyal viewership of the channel for making this an adventure that I get to share with everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Okay. We're here at the end. Ramble jamble time. I did not use the TCG Player affiliate link, even for myself. I want to explain why. I went looking for the Bazaar. I saw a damaged copy. It was $1,300 and something US, which is around 1,800 Canadian. Cheapest I've seen, even if it's damaged. But because it's damaged and they had no photos up, I couldn't justify it. And since I didn't have the money, I knew it would be breaking my budget for months. So I had to step back and take a breath. And sometimes you have to do that. You know what you want. You know how bad you want it. And I want that Bazaar of Baghdad. But sometimes you just can't make it happen. Sometimes you can't swing it. And even when there's an amazing deal in front of you, even damaged, I was willing to buy it if I thought I could get enough money together. And it just didn't work out. So I'm a little disappointed in myself for not taking the extra plunging step. But I'm also proud of myself for staying within my budget and understanding the limits of what I can and can't spend. So I'll keep saving. I'll keep plugging away. And hopefully sometime in the future another deal comes along or another sale comes along. Because I believe they always do. And that's where you can kind of come out as a winner on top. So thanks again for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here at the end and listening to me complain about the fact I didn't buy the Bazaar of Baghdad when I really should have and I shouldn't have. And yeah, I'm going to torment myself. We'll talk about it on the live stream. Guys, have a great one. Exit stage right or left, or just, wave.